Hello. Well, it's the third Sunday of the month, and this is the time when we usually have Burnham Bereavement Cafe. And as we're still in the lockdown at the moment, in the midst of the pandemic, we've looked at putting Burnham Bereavement Cafe online. So if you go on Facebook and search Burnham Bereavement Cafe online, you'll find there's a Facebook group which you can request to join. It's a private group, so that confidentiality is respected and only people who are part of the group can actually see what's written there. But today I've been thinking about the coronavirus and how many new deaths there have been through that, how many newly bereaved people, families affected by that. And of course there are people who've died in this time, not necessarily of the coronavirus, but have nevertheless died and left bereft and grieving families. And this is a time like no other. It's a time when all the usual things that we would want to do when death is drawing near have changed and we're not able to do. For so many people, they've not been able to sit by their loved one's bedside and hold their hand. They've not been able to visit them in hospital. They've not been able to say those goodbyes, and some people haven't even been able to go to their funeral. So in view of all that, what do we do? Death is such a shock at any time, even when we're expecting it, and it comes as no surprise maybe with an elderly, poorly relative. It's still a shock. That shock of life ending and that person not being there anymore. And more so at a time when death is unexpected and sudden, through the COVID maybe, or through perhaps a road accident or a heart attack, things like that. We have no time to prepare. We have no time to say goodbye. And goodbyes can be so important, can't they? So I was wondering what ways people have found of coping when they've not been able to say goodbye. And I was thinking about the Jewish Shiva, the ritual for the dead. Now it's a little bit like a wake, in that people come and they tell stories of the person who's gone. And even at this time, I wonder if telling stories, sharing stories together, may go some way towards helping us to get our heads round what is a terrible and unexpected thing. Maybe on the phone, maybe letters, maybe messages, encouraging one another. Don't be scared. If you've been bereaved, don't be scared to reach out to friends or family and say, can you tell me something that you remember about my loved one? Can you tell me about a special time that you had together? And talk with one another. Do you remember when? And somehow we just start to really get to grips with this life and who we've lost. Now, I'd love to say it takes the pain away. It doesn't, and it won't. But it might help and comfort us to share those memories together, because although we are isolated because of the coronavirus, we call it social isolation, but actually it's physical isolation. Socially, compassionately, we can draw together by phone, by letter, by card. Read the cards over and over again. Keep them up. Look at them. Remember your loved one. And as always, in Bereavement Cafe, we have an opportunity for an act of remembrance. So I would suggest that you perhaps take a candle, have some thoughts, light your candle, and to sit holding that light, thinking of the light that your loved one brought into your life, that light that illuminates you, and that light that you will hold forever in your heart. I would encourage you by saying you are not alone. It feels like it, but you are not alone. People love you. People care. People remember.